my grandson's graduation. So I may not be with you for so long, but I just had to touch base because this is my every Monday habit.
I know that's right.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
To your grandson and for tapping in, but you can catch it on replay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, yeah.
Where is he graduating from?
High school.
Oh,
I had him since he was 4. Since he was 4, and thank God. Hallelujah. And he's on his way to college.
Okay.
So I'm so happy about that.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
They say congratulations, Bernard.
That's a big
congratulations.
That's my class. That's my whole family here. All right. So I'm gonna mute out.
That's a class. That's a family.
Yeah, it's popping off. It's graduation season.
Yeah.
All right, so what them hands? Let me see something.
We've been out of school over here almost a month.
Let's see what's going on. All right, now I don't see them hands up.
Anybody got a question?
I don't see y'all preparing for this.
You got a question?
Well, actually, I just wanted to say hi and say my grandson graduated on Friday from high school. Woo-hoo.
Oh, congratulations to him and to you.
Yep, Dunbar says that season.
Yes, I have a question.
It was bad.
I have a question. It's a situation. I believe that I was cramming myself, being in everything, every workshop, every training, doing the B2B and doing CDL. And it I got bombarded. So I'm trying to sort out these different plans. Can you give me a tip on how I can really sever to get it? Because I know I got to get it down packed. I just seem like I'm grabbing at too many things.
Well, first of all, I'll say that CDLP is solutions, because in that, CDLP is just a niche market. You understand? So if you don't want to focus solely on CDLP, that's where the whole solutions come into play, because, you got all the industries, but.
Oh, sorry, Sharina. I'm sorry. I muted you. I apologize.
Yeah, we already know, right? We already know. You already gave us a warning. But I'll say for me, Miss Brown, so CDLP is solutions. A lot of people tend to tap into maybe something that they're familiar with, or like with me, I was just interested in this arena or this industry. But my background is healthcare, so I kind of know what those people or those the people in healthcare, like doctor's office. I worked for a doctor for almost 20 years, so I kind of know what their pain points are. So if I had to choose an industry, it might be that to start off if I'm new to Legal Shield. And so with that, I would learn the legal and the ID Shield plan. You know what I'm saying? So, and maybe the small biz if you're dealing with small practices. But that would help versus, and then what that industry pain points are. But that's my thought on it. I
want to do the CDL, okay, and some coaches. I went to people that helped me, and it was like, you gotta really do the business and then do CDL. But by that time, I was already coming to my Monday night CDLs, so I still kept the CDL and trying to get my business, information and the business plans up as well. But CDL has a lot of different plans in there, and I got bombarded. But I really want to do the CDL. That's my main thing. That's where I'm at, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Well, I would say print out the plan details for CDL. We have plan details for legal and small biz. And get with someone, get with a field trainer to assist you with that. Cross-selling can be hard in the beginning, so you might not be skilled enough to cross-sell in the beginning, but just know that you have a client you can always go back to and sell additional products to.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Ms. Brown. Enjoy your evening.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I want to, my thing was looking crazy over here. All right. So I want to speak to that too, but I want to speak to it from a different angle, which would be.
You listening?
All right. So what I would like to speak to is one. If you're in Legal Shield, you should focus on pick your major and your minor, like we say all the time, and learn that you do not have to get on everything that Legal Shield does. I want you to look at if you're religious at all, this may fall on you differently. If you're not religious, it don't matter because it's not about whether you're religious or not. It's just the example I'm gonna use. I have friends growing up that will go to church and they will go to every single thing that the church did. And then some people will show up to some of the stuff, and people thought that they had to go to everything because the church was open. Because the church is open don't mean you have to be in it, right? The church is open that much because there's different people with different schedules. They want to accommodate for everybody who's a member of the church. Does that make sense, everybody? Put a 2 in the chat if that makes sense. Legal Shield has a lot going on because there's a lot of people in Legal Shield. So there's always something going because there's so many people with different time zones, with different schedules and all those different things that they want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to be on the level playing field, if that makes sense to everybody. That does not mean that you need to be on everything. Every time Legal Shield does a Zoom, you don't have to be on one. That will, you know what else would be ridiculous? If every time somebody did a briefing, you was at every briefing. If you was at the briefing in Atlanta, then at the one in this area in Georgia, and one, if there was 4 briefings in Georgia, and you went to all 4, that would be ridiculous. Because all 4 aren't for you, right? They've got different ones in different areas, so people don't have to go so far to get there. And because we have Zoom things now, we think that because Legal Shield is putting on an event, or a leader in Legal Shield is putting on an event, that because we're Legal Shield, we have to be in it. And that's not the case. So I have like clients that are in Legal Shield that get burnt out, and you end up hurting your own business because you burn yourself out on Legal Shield instead of just focusing on what you should be doing, going to events for that, and focus on creating the time that you're going to do a workflow. So if you're going to get up on Mondays and make calls from 10 o'clock to noon, then do that every day. And don't let any Legal Shield event stop that, because most of them are recorded. So if somebody's doing the training from 11 to 11:45, and that's your call time, don't not do your call time to get on a call that's recorded. Listen to that recorded at a predetermined time in your schedule and make your calls at that time. Because if your calls are being done inconsistently, you won't keep up with them. It's easier for you to do calls every day at the same time than it is for you to say, oh, I'm gonna do it whenever it can fit my schedule. I'm gonna change it tomorrow because Legal Shield has a training call going on, because most of the time that call is gonna be recorded. So you can watch it when you want to anyway. So don't let those different trainings control your schedule. You control your schedule based on when you can do your income producing activity. Being on a training is not income producing activity. So you do not want to be on trainings in the middle of the day. I would say if it's something that's recorded that you can play back later on, put it in your schedule to play it back later on when it's not call time, and make those calls that you need to be making, and don't get on things that aren't in the space that you're in. If you are clearly not going to do network marketing, why are you getting on network marketing Zooms? If you clearly aren't going to do CDL, then why would you be getting on this call just because you're in Legal Shield? If you sell a CDL plan every now and again, you probably don't need to be on this Monday night, on Sharonda's call on Thursdays, and then every other month taking the CDLP certification training if you're selling them just when they come across your desk. is you just overtraining yourself and you're doing stuff just to be doing it. So once you pick your major and your minor, I would say focus on the training and live events that have to do with that major. And also, if you can, do the recorded training, the recorded version of that training when it's best suited for your schedule. Don't let the trainings and things that get put on the calendar by the bigger corporation adjust how you do your day every day. Because it's making you jump around and do stuff, and Legal Shield is not really meaning to do that. They're setting it up so that everybody can get to it. They're not just thinking about you, but you have to think about you. So the same way when you're at your job, you don't not go to work to get on the Legal Shield training. You go to work and you catch it whenever you can. If you're not working a 9 to 5, that call time that you would use every day, that's like you being at work. So if you're making calls from 9 to 10, 9 to 11, make those calls from 9 to 11 every day if that's what you would choose to do. And then on days that it's a training, and the blitz is not a training, the blitz is a call time. So if that's call time, then you should be getting on blitz because that's you enhancing the activity of you making calls anyway. I'm talking about random trainings that Legal Shield may just be putting on. I would say if it's recorded, just look at it at a different time. And lastly, I'm gonna say before I turn back over to another trainer, I heard her, and she may have misspoke when she said this and not really realize what she was saying. Nobody else should be telling you what you should be doing first or second when it comes to your business. If you don't want to do business solutions, don't do it. If you don't want to do network marketing, don't let anybody tell you that, oh, you should be doing network marketing, because as much as we like to say that in this company, and I know some people feel like, that's the model. You're in network, you're in Legal Shield, you should still be doing network marketing. There are a lot of examples of people who do not network market in this company, and they make plenty of money. And they've been doing it hand over fist for over a decade. So it's not impossible to do that. Don't put yourself in a position where you're doing network marketing and it turns you off so bad that you don't even want to do the business anymore. Do what you're comfortable doing, do what you like to do what you came here to do. If you're not sure what that is, then figure that out, but don't let somebody else figure that out for you. Because that's not fair to what you need to be doing. So, I mean, that's my opinion on it. So, John, we'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
I would say find a workout partner. I know in my particular case, CDLP is my major, and so is small biz, but I had to let identity theft go. It was just too much to keep up to date on. And so I found a worker partner that would help me with identity theft, and that would be their strength, and go out together, and then you could feed off each other. It's also a way to be accountable to each other too, because sometimes you play mind games with yourself. If you're out there by yourself, you're going to say, it's Monday morning, it's too early, or it's lunchtime, I'm not going to go there, or it's late in the afternoon, they're going home, they don't want to talk to me. But if you have a workout partner, you're accountable to each other. You're not going to get those excuses because you don't want to let the other person down. So you're working out with, and have several workout partners, and don't be afraid to let one go if you're not working together as a team. Like I have a Spanish workout partner, I got a female workout partner, I got a Hindu speaking workout partner for this, the certain groups that I go to, and I have several, and I've had to let workout partners go. I just said, we're just not working together cohesively, and find another one. But that's a way to get good and on your major, and on the ones that you're a minor on, find someone that can major in those minors to maximize on your efforts. So you might find a company that might have drivers, but CDLP might not be their number one issue they might have, but the legal plan identity theft will, and then CDLP might be an option for some of their employers if they are driving for like a company car for a living or a company truck, and just bring that to the table. But that'd be my suggestion: find a workout partner. The business is much more fun with a workout partner anyway, too. All right, back to you, Robert.
Yeah, someone responded on YouTube there real quick. All right, so that's that. Those are some different responses, guys, on that. Of course, that's our opinion on it. Yes, this call is recorded, and you'll hear us say that a lot here when somebody's got something else going on. It's like, hey, look, this is recorded, we're going to do this call every Monday. We're going to record it every Monday. So if you can't make it because you got something else going on, you got a team call you got to get on, whatever else you got going on, you can always get back, right, and look at this at another time and do what you need to do, because you got to focus where you need to focus at. So I would definitely say that's how you need to look at that. Anything else to add, guys, before we move on?
No, Melissa, thank you for your comment about networking and solutions.
Oh, thank you. So we got any more questions here about anything? Any more questions? Any more questions? One.
Good evening. It's Priscilla.
How
I
are
haven't
you?
made it home yet, so I wasn't gonna ask my question yet because I wasn't home, so I could write it down. But I did want to know if we could get some tips as to how to live with small business and to
Priscilla, you breaking up a little bit. You said some tips on what now? Say that again.
Of how to lead in with a small business plan when you're talking to like a company.
So we can all speak to it. I mean, all we can all speak to it, but I always like to turn that over to Sharanda first, because Sharanda has been awarded for doing such. So I think it's definitely better for her to answer that first. So Miss Sharanda, you lead in person. I know you got a couple of rules to that too. So
and Sharanda, I'm pulled over too, so I can take my notes. Okay, it's not in vain. All right.
It's recorded though. It's recorded. Remember that, Priscilla. So we don't want you to get caught up on side of the road.
Okay. All right.
So Priscilla, I take it that you're calling yourself. So when you're calling yourself, I'll say it like this. It's about asking questions. You have to think about when the script that we use, and we all use a different Lamar script. But when you read the script really talks about the violations. And so you have to be careful how you use the script. So, with me, I just, normally I just, ask to speak to the person who handles the DOT violations and TSA scores. And that's all I say of that script now. Because most time it's the owner, and I go into a series of questions. And normally my questions don't really, even though I prospected the company because of the violations, if I'm making the dial, when I say that, my next question really may not go towards the violation. It may just go towards the business in general, my questions. And so that could be it just could be some small talk for me because I'm warming it up. And one of my biggest questions is asking them, what keeps them up at night. Because if I'm talking to the owner. And then it goes into conversation mode, asking more about the business management side of things. So that's how I kind of lead with the small business plan, because I'm asking questions more so of the daily operations, things that will affect the business. Even though the violations is of course, my reasoning for talking to them, and we eventually get to that, but the small business plan does nothing with violations. So that's why when I'm field training, I know that the associates are using Lamar script more than I am. And so we're closing more on CDLP and legal plans, unless, unfortunately, they don't feel like the violations are as bad as we do. And so that's when I may turn my focus more to the management side of daily operational things, asking them about their business, asking them about, outstanding debts, really in a way of asking, do they have factoring companies, how they're handling that? Do they have problems, with other vendors that they're doing business with? It's a lot of trucking companies are dealing with things like mechanics and things like that, where they're not taking care of their trucks. They're giving them trucks back, and it may be still tore up. It'll work for a little bit. So they have a lot of problems with mechanics and things like that. So just knowing and asking questions, because I didn't always know the questions to ask. Just ask them about their business, and believe it or not, they'll start venting and sharing with you things that they're dealing with, and you just listen. And like Yolanda said, knowing kind of what the plan does. So my focus on the small business plan would be the ability to talk to someone about their business on business issues. Of course, dealing with other vendors who may not have paid them, or they just having some type of conflict with business from, each other. Now that we have the interstate coverage, I talk a lot about that because a lot of them are moving freight over the road. Of course, my number one is the lawsuit coverage. Believe it or not, they're getting sued not just because of accidents, but because of other things in their daily operations. It's not always about accident. It could be, the damage of freight, which they do have insurance to help with that. But sometimes, they can't find, they can't really, if they use that, we're really the saving grace on that when it comes to that, because legally, the law firms, the legal part of that, if they use that insurance, can eat up that $1 million or $2 million coverage quick. So just having conversations with them about that. So Dunbar, you changed something on us, or did I?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Something I see something else happen on my side. Thomas Jackson is sharing his screen.
Oh, okay.
He's sharing his whiteboard.
Yeah, I think that's just him doing that annotation. He's probably doing it by mistake.
I think he probably hit it by it was his whiteboard.
Yeah, I think he probably hit it by mistake. Yeah.
So that's how I lead Priscilla with a lot of questions when it comes to that. But again, like I said, when I'm field training, I'm mostly leading with the CDLP and legal, because that's what the associate kind of has talked a little bit about to set the appointment. And it's in the conversation there, we kind of segue to the small business plan. But also, another feature we have now with the new plans is, the employee handbooks. They really have to structure them for, the transportation industry, but all small companies need driver onboarding handbooks, safety handbooks, and things like that. So that could be a good, just a good tool to use there for that as well. Of course, a lot of the other features, but definitely I don't get into that. It's a matter of me asking questions and me catering my value proposition around what they say is they're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of features that they can use in the plan, but normally I just focus on what they say, they're dealing with.
So Sharanda, Sylvester Thompson was asked in the chat, Sharanda, speak to the person who handles DOT violations. Is that who you're saying? Speak to?
And CSA scores. He wants to know CSA scores. He wants to know what that other part was.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Priscilla. We hope that I hope that helped. Somebody else may speak on that. But
John, you can speak on that if you want to. I'm not going to speak on it.
Well, Sharanda had the right idea. You want to get questions and you want to get the answers to the questions have to be yes. The more yeses you get to the questions you ask, the more likely you're going to get a membership out of it, a small business membership. If you go in and ask a driver, do you ever get tickets? And a lot of times you're going to say, no, I don't. So that kind of like just blew you out of the water. You're not going to sell them a CDLP plan because he thinks he's never going to get a ticket. But if you ask them, something about a landlord issue or a wage garnishment issue or a thing that goes with our legal plan and tie in the commercial driving plan with it as more of a supplement, than a plan by itself, that's how you get you can maximize on both the legal plan and commercial driving plan. But ask the right questions, get as many yeses as you can. And even on the small business plan too, you say, have you ever lost a good driver? You ever had a driver leave for an unsuspected reason, and those are usually because they have had legal issues, why they leave. Maybe they have a wage garnishment that's following them around every job they go to. And as soon as they catch up to them, they quit and find another job. Those truck driving jobs are easy to hire. You can hire on almost anywhere. Truck drivers can go any place and get work. And if they're just one step ahead of the collection man or the ex-wife or the ex-husband or whatever it might be, that's we want to give them at least access to an attorney to maybe stabilize their workforce and stabilize their business too. And as far as the new plans, Sharanda talked about the handbook, but probably the best feature on there I think is IRS protection for businesses too. That is the one thing that I've been able to upgrade a lot of small business owners on is the handbooks and the IRS audit assistance, which was not available before.
Yeah.
You have to be careful too, though. I mean, I'm just saying, with the script, just gotta be careful. Because if you go in there saying too much of that and you segue to that small business plan, now you got a confused owner.
I've seen that.
He's thinking that because you started with that script and that script talks about more violations. And then you say small business plan, or we got a business plan, and you got to know at the end of the day, his business is, his business. And he hear you say business, because that script talks about your drivers. So you got to be careful with that script if you're trying to cross sell, because that owner is going to hear what he wants to hear, and you have a confused owner, because our small business plan say business.
Yeah. And just make it clear. Make it clear. If you're going to use the script that way, the way Sharanda just mentioned, after you say the script, if you're going to go talk about business, you need to say, now I need you to understand that the business plan is not going to fight any violations or citations for the drivers. You can't fight any of those with the business. The business plan is strictly to take care of situations that happen with your company. You have to be willing to say that. And you also have to understand business. And I saw that a lot when I would field train people on a small business plan. And this was even way back when it was just 75, 125. You don't go to a company and apply for a job for a position that you can't fill. And you can't do the same. It's the same thing in business. People want to sell the business plan because it makes more money, but they don't understand anything about business. And you cannot sell business plans to business owners and not understand business, because you can't have a proper conversation with them, right? You may have a proper conversation about what Legal Shield plan can do because you know the plan, but you have to understand not necessarily their bakery, but some people selling the business plan and they don't even understand business. You can't not understand the industry of business and go and sell a small business plan, because at some point you're going to limit to how many you can sell, because you're going to start running into situations that you just don't know what to say, because every answer is not a Legal Shield answer, if that makes sense. Sometimes the answer is about business. And if somebody asks you a question and you can't answer it because you don't understand business at all, you start to look like you don't know what you're doing. You look unprofessional. So again, have some knowledge in what you're talking about as far as the industry is concerned. I know we get, and this is why as independent associates, you have to sometimes know to go somewhere else to get information. Legal Shield don't really do a lot of business training, but you can go to YouTube to get information on businesses. I mean, there's training on businesses and understanding, watching videos and getting on trainings to understand how business works. You cannot not know the first thing about business and think that you're going to sell 5, 6, 7 business plans a month and just have yourself surrounded and then, you know, kind of engulfed in business owners when you just don't understand that, because that is an industry within itself, being a business owner. So it's important for people to understand that as well. Valeria Hamilton says, can the company owner be listed as an owner operator? Was that answered yet in the chat and I didn't see it? Can a company owner be listed as owner operator instead of employee?
I don't understand the question. Let me go back to Priscilla though. You got to be careful too, because some citations come in the company's name. They still can't use that plan. Okay. All right. Okay. So I didn't understand Valerie's question.
Yeah, Valeria.
Valeria.
Yeah, Valeria. I know. I said Valeria. Valeria. If you
Valeria.
It's Valeria. Ask your question because so we can make sure we understand it.
Yes. I was talking with a potential client on Friday, and we were talking about the number of drivers and whether they were W-2s or 1099s. And so she said that they just had one employee. Now she's the wife of the owner of the company. I said, no, you should have two employees because you're an employee, right? She said, yes. I said, and your husband should also be an employee. And she's like, no, I just have him as an owner operator.
He's an employee. He's a driver. Yeah, she don't understand. She don't understand your paperwork. Your paperwork is 2. So you're trying to have her to understand your paperwork. So he's an employee on your paperwork. He's the driver and he's the owner. Okay. He owns the company and he's the driver. And you know, she says she's an employee too. So it's 2. So on your paperwork, it's 2. Don't ask her, it's 2. She told you how it's set up. He's the owner of the company and he's the driver. He's an employee, and you asked her to clarify if she considered herself one too. She said yeah, so it's 2. If she had said no, it's just him. But he's the employee. He's the owner of the company and he's the driver. Okay. But that's your paperwork. So she wouldn't understand that on your paperwork, okay?
Okay. All righty. Thank you, ma'am.
You got it. Angela Harrison. And then we'll get Melissa Shaw after that.
Yes, hi, how are you guys? Thank you for taking my question. It's kind of like a two-part question. The first is, I had a owner-operator business that I was potential to sell the business plan and then do the employee benefits, CDLP. And it was my cousin, but you know, a distant cousin. But and they were very excited to take on the business plan, but they never watched a video or looked at any of the information after I told them about it, and they told me to send them the information. And then I could never get them on the line again. And their wife, who helps out as well, would run interference at times and say, oh, we'll look at it. They kept saying it. And finally they said, we don't need it right now. I don't know how to re-engage them or pull them back because it's a small company, about 4 drivers. And I didn't fully understand. Well, I kind of knew he was an owner operator and he was a driver, but he's really tied up with that. I don't know how to re-engage them or how to close that or just leave it alone altogether or when to go back to it. I guess that's what I'm asking. Or
what were they excited about if they didn't look at anything?
Pardon me?
What were they excited about if they didn't look at anything? Is it something you told them, or what? I mean, like, did they get a presentation from you? Or you say they were excited and then they didn't look at, but they didn't look at anything. So did you, I mean, you could have gave them a presentation,
I did.
So
I did. I gave him a bit of a presentation about what we offer and the services. And he said, okay, I'm very interested in the business plan. Send me the information. I need it. And he said, send me the information. And I sent him the information via email. But I guess he never.
Can we hear your presentation? How did that go?
Oh, no.
Can we get an example of how that went?
I love it. Can we get that? Let us get that. Let us hear that.
Yeah, let us hear that.
Okay.
Listen, this is a coaching call. Let us hear that.
Okay. Wow.
As they say, what you say, Dunbar? Permission to coach.
There you go.
Permission to coach.
She probably like, I'm not ever gonna raise my hand ever again.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Come on. There's no judgment here. We're all here to learn.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm really excited to share some information with you about. I'm sorry, I just froze.
Don't freeze. Just keep going. Just tell us about what you said. That's so we can coach.
Actually, I can't remember exactly what I said, but I'm just gonna wing it here.
Right. Absolutely.
There you go.
And I'm just gonna say that I was really excited to share with you some information that could really benefit your company. It's from our company, Legal Shield, and we offer business plans that help your company, in essence, help your business handle all the legal issues that may arise. Well, handle many of the legal issues that may arise. Initially, I started off telling him about the employee benefits, which would be benefits for the drivers to help them with their CSA scores, to prevent them from being elevated for the company, to help their MVRs, so that they could have the best scores possible for their companies, to help with any violations that may happen, to also assist them in not having, gosh, you guys, I'm so nervous. I'm sorry.
So you started with that and then you went over to the business plan?
No, yes, I started with the employee benefits. And then I also shared with him that we had a business plan to cover the company, in the sense that to cover the company.
What are some of the features you told him? I mean, because you said he got excited about the business plan. What are some of the features you told him?
And some of the features I told him that in the event of the company having, hold on one second. I'm not looking at a cheat sheet. I'm just trying to remember what I said.
It's okay if you are, because you could have been looking at one when you did your presentation.
I know. No.
Exactly.
I know. I mean, I did have a script that I used, but I'm winging it now, and I'm just like freezing because Mr. Hoffman is looking at me, Ms. Sharanda, and Mr. Dunbar. But anyway,
no, don't worry about us. It's 49 other people looking at you too.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about them too as well. Miss Johnson, Miss Smith. No, okay. But anyway, seriously. Anyway, I did tell him about the benefits of the plan is that, it allows you to have the services of a law firm in the event that you need trial services, in the event that you need services for to consultations, document review. If you need, I went over briefly what it offered. I didn't go into too much detail.
Sounds like you went over the whole plan on both of them. And so he did get excited. Okay, but again, he didn't see the value at the time. I think you gave him enough information. I really do. You gave him the whole plan, if that's what you gave him, what you just told us. But I don't know that you researched company, or you just went in as, you know, family, you know, you're just gonna protect the family. I would advise you to look at the third annual training if you haven't, and see how to research the company and just look at his company and see kind of what his pain points are. I don't know how old or how new the company is, but I think you told him everything about the plan, and I promise you, Angela, when something happens, he'll remember you and he'll come back.
Okay, I did research his company. I did look at that. He just had like 1 or 2 violations. That's why I could mention a violation.
Okay.
And
what I'm saying is that what if you gave him just what you just told us, you gave him mostly the whole plan. And for whatever reason, he may not be interested right now. But just don't harass him because he's family, you know? But because you feel like he should close because he's family, and he doesn't, he probably didn't know nothing about that before you brought it up to him. You know what I'm saying? So you're excited. Something you said piqued his interest, but not enough to close him. You know what I'm saying? So just, you know, I would just follow up nicely or whatever. I wouldn't harass him. He said he wasn't interested right now. They told you that. So just continue to follow up, you know, like following his company, see what the numbers are. You know, Dunbar, this is the story we talked about when he see you at the cookout. He gonna get, you know, uncomfortable because now here you come talking about Legal Shield and he ain't interested in them, you know. So don't be that cousin, right? So just, he said he's not interested right now. It's okay. I think you gave him enough of what we do that when something happens, he will remember you, Angela. I believe he will.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering if I won't overkill with it. I was just wondering if I left anything out or
you might
could have done something better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know, was that a phone call or in person?
Phone call.
Yeah.
Phone calls.
And he might have been focused on something else, you know. He might not really been, you know, I don't know, was it a scheduled call or you just called him out the blue? It could have been a lot of reasons, but yeah. Yeah, he wasn't looking for that right then. So that's my thing on it. I would just follow up nicely. I wouldn't be that harassing cousin at the cookout, you know, just I wouldn't keep calling him. He already told you, but I think you told him a lot about our coverage personally, and he'll tap back in, you know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
The other part of that question, well, it's a different question, but the other part is that, thank you so much, Ms. Ivy, is I know a little bit about kind of how workout partners work, but in the terms of working it with, and I know you guys hit on it briefly about using a workout partner here, how does that actually look in the CDL page? I mean, I heard you, Mr. Hoffman and Ms. Ivy talking about it, but I still can't visualize how does a workout partner look in this area.
I mean, as far as I know, workout partner is a workout partner. It doesn't matter what you're selling. It doesn't matter whether you're doing CDL, whether you're doing opening just general groups that have nothing to do with CDL, just opening any kind of group, whether it's you just doing network marketing. It doesn't matter what it is. Workout partners going to all be the same. You need to have somebody that you have to give that person permission to hold you accountable. You give them permission to hold you accountable. Y'all do that for each other. And you guys have to make a plan together and choose who's going to do what, right? So you just set some boundaries. Hey, this is what we're required to do. Both of us are going to do that. You're giving me permission that if you don't do what you said you were going to do, I should be able to address it. And you have the same permission with me. If I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, we're supposed to meet twice a week and make calls. And for 3 weeks in a row, I'm making an excuse. You're supposed to be able to address me about that, and vice versa. So workout partner, it doesn't matter what area of the business. It doesn't even matter what business you're in. Having a workout partner is just having somebody to do the business with or do an activity with. And both of you guys are shooting for the same goal. So just a couple of rules on a workout partner. One, y'all want to be headed in the same direction. So if you're focused on CDLP and they're focused on network marketing, probably not going to be good workout partners. Like y'all need to be focused on the same area of business. Y'all need to be setting similar goals, not exactly the same, but similar goals. Look at it like going to the gym with somebody. If you were going to the gym and all you were trying to do was legs, and that person was going to the gym and all they was trying to do was arms, y'all probably not going to be good workout partners because y'all working on different equipment. Y'all expected to do different exercises for different amounts of time. It's hard to be workout partners with somebody when you guys are doing two totally different things. So you want to be headed for the same goal. If y'all both are looking to get to the ring or get to executive director or make a certain amount of sales, performance club qualifier, or y'all both are saying, hey, we're going to make an agreement that we're both going to go to the next performance club trip or whatever it is, it needs to be a common goal. In mind, so common that you guys work so closely together. And Sharanda's situation with workout partner, to me, is one of the most perfect examples that I've seen in my 13 years with Legal Shield, where two people decide to run together and they get the ring days apart. That's the perfect example where that happens. And mistake me if I'm wrong, Sharanda. Sharanda does Legal Shield kind of by herself. Her husband supports her, but she's really the one doing the Legal Shield. And then on her workout partners, on Donna's end, her and her husband do the business together. So her workout partner, her and her husband both do the business together. And then on Sharanda's side, it's just Sharanda. And they still got the ring right behind each other because they were working together every day and then doing everything in conjunction. So that's my take on it, John and Sharanda.
John, you go.
Well, yeah, my workout partner, I said, it's more fun to do the business with the right workout partner. And I've had some workout partners that were disastrous. They would present to everybody. They present to the gatekeeper. And I would say, what are you doing? We're not here to present to the gatekeeper. You're talking to the wrong person. We're here to talk to the owner, nobody else. In my inside voice was saying, shut up. But I had to take it that happens a lot. So you have to find somebody else because it's crucial to find the right person that you can work together with. Regarding your other item, Angela, I think when you're talking to a business owner, leading with the business plan first might be ideal because he wants to know what's in it for him, okay, and not what's in it for his drivers necessarily. But then you would ask a question: Do you have an objection to offering your drivers a voluntary benefit to help them with their ticket issues if they have it? And of course, you should say, no, I don't have an objection. And that just kind of opened the door wide open for you. So, well, let's offer this to them. Okay. If you don't have an objection, let's offer them some legal services to help them retain their clean MVR and at the same time, keep your CSA scores low and no cost to your company, no obligation to your company, and maybe help you retain some drivers. So that would be a key question that, to ask them is that after you present the business plan to them, say, do you have an objection to offering legal services to your employees or to your drivers at no cost to you?
Okay, that's great. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Dunbar, about the workout partner. That was great too.
I'm the workout partner with so with me and my workout partner, I mean, we still accountable. I mean, we still have goals. So we're still accountable. So like today we check in every day at 9:30. Some people don't do it every day, but we check in every day at 9:30 because we're both, doing Legal Shield. We don't have a job. So we check in at 9:30. The conversation is normally about the day before. But we're doing some, heavy goals in the next 90 days. So today we checked in at 9:30 in the conversation. So today was Monday. So we were just, we were setting the week. So last week had 3 days that we talked. And so, that was more so of us doing review. So we're reviewing last month's numbers, and really we went back to the year to, because now we're at the 6 month and trying to run for the rest of the year. So we reviewed the year where we were now to adjust our numbers, and so it's about how many calls you're going to make. How many, we call them power hours you're going to do. And so we normally do 2 power hours a day. Like we make, I don't like to make dials in the morning, but if me and my workout partner say we're gonna do it, I do it. But most of the time I don't do calls in the morning unless I know I got something in the afternoon where I can't really have that time. So I will push to do it. We were doing Blitz before they started doing Blitz. We would get on Zoom. So we still do that now. We do the Blitz on Tuesdays. But we normally get on Zoom together, meaning we mute our lines and we see each other, but we don't hear each other. But the energy pushes us. Believe it or not, that gives me the ability to say I'm going to make dials for an hour or even 2 hours because I know that somebody's there with me doing it. Because I give myself an out. Like I have a lot of things going on. So I'll give myself an out if I don't have that accountability.
Right.
So I will work out, you know, it's like how many dials we're gonna do. You know, I make daily income goals, but I don't beat myself up. Something Deborah taught me is the activity. So if I say I'm having a $500 day today, I don't really have to think that $500 is going in my account, but I need to do $500 worth of activity. Like I need to be talking to somebody maybe about putting up maybe a couple of small plans in place, and I'm following up with them. So by the activity that I have in my pipeline on a day-to-day, I look at it like that was a $500 day. I got, you know, 3 people that I'm following up. They're interested in the small business plan. They got maybe 4 or 5 drivers, or I may talk to 2 or 3 drivers. And of course, I'm gonna work to close on, you know, combo plans. So in my head, that's a $500 day or whatever the income comes up. We call it forecasting, right? And so Dunbar taught me that because I used to beat myself up thinking, oh, I didn't make the $500. You know, it's the activity, right? It's the activity. So so that's what we do with our workout. I mean, like I said, I got a lot going on. So my workout partner, I might not talk about a lot of things to other associates, but with my workout partner, I can share what I'm going through with life. And she gives me that boost to, you know, just work my business. And so it's that type of accountability there because like John said, sometimes you can feel by yourself. And at one point I did work my business in an area that it wasn't anybody down here working. So I was like by myself, but so we have some goals, and like Dunbar said, we you know, we were at the same level running for similar goals. But I will say with her husband, he does the networking side of their business only, and she does only solutions, and she recruits on the business solution side. But so we don't mingle that together because I focus solely on solutions. So it's a good fit. So I hope that helps.
No, it helped tremendously. For me, I'm trying to figure out what was one of my blocks, and I don't know why I couldn't see that, even though I've talked with my director. I was just going around in this circle, but for me personally, you know, in the last year and 1 month, I've had 3 important family members pass away, and I'm helping care for another person, and I go back and forth from Georgia to California. So I'm just like going in circles here trying to figure out how do I pull it together. And I do think a consistent workout partner would be the best solution for me to help me refocus. And I do know I need to give myself, you know, the time to grieve because we just buried my father like last week. So, but I still got to keep moving at the same time. So I appreciate that information. It gave me some clarity. I mean, a lot of clarity.
Oh, that's good. And condolences to you. You know, and Dunbar knows, a lot of people on here knows an accountability call, but we're caregivers too. Right. And so, you know, we understand, and, you know, talking to leadership today, this is what the business is about. It gives us the ability to have the time to do the things that we need to be present in our family lives. So first of all, we have to take that ownership and not beat ourselves up because we are focused on family. So,
Right.
so we first in our minds have to do that. And then when it comes to the business, we connect with those individuals that will have that sympathy, but also give you the push. So when you meet somebody or you connect with somebody, y'all have that conversation. Because, you know, everybody don't want to hear that sometimes, you know.
Right.
You might find a person say, well, we ain't here to win it. You know, we ain't talking about that today. I mean, then you got people out there that don't want you to be a Debbie Downer, right? Dumb part, they just don't. They don't want you to be the Debbie Downer. So you have to connect with people that connect with you. And
Right.
so with my workout partner, she's sympathetic to the fact that we are caregivers and life is hectic. But I give her permission to push me when I say I want to be pushed. And I'm every day pushing in my business. So you have to find somebody like Robert. I think all of them said you have to find somebody you can connect with. And it may take 2 or 3 people. So don't feel like you're married to nobody, not even your upline. Like we said, this is your business. It looks like however you want it to look. But just know that this is the opportunity we have. So you may go through a few people.
Okay. Wow.
So kudos to you for showing up tonight in the midst of life, you know, but it's okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my condolences as well too. So, and thanks for the question. I think the answers that you received for those questions helped more than just you. So that's helpful as well. I know Melissa Shaw's hand was up. It's down now. Melissa, did you still have a question? Was you tired of your hand being up?
Yeah, no, it went down on its own. I don't know what happened.
And congratulations on your podcast too.
Oh, thank you. So my question is, I had a conversation with a company that when I was asking him about some pain points, the biggest thing that he mentioned was cash flow. And so how can I tie the business plan in, or can I apply the business plan to help with that? My initial thought is no, but maybe I'm looking at it from a different point. So I just wanted to put it out here to see what I'm sure everyone would probably have had that a business owner say something to him about that.
Cash flow.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna ask him what that means. What that mean? I mean, that could mean a lot of things. I mean, I would say, okay, so I say, okay, sir, well, what do you mean by that? I mean, did he explain what he meant by that?
Just that I haven't been able to get any grants or funding. They're using their own money to fund the business.
Fucking ain't cheap.
Well, I wouldn't say this to him, but it's just us in this call. So it's like, well, you know, welcome to the world of business, because most people don't have credit funding their business. They start their own business. So as a matter of fact, when you talk to them again, find out what grants I fund the business, because maybe I can stop spending my own money. If I start to fund mine. Oh man, but I do understand though what Sharanda was going with that question too, though, because just off the top of my head, I would have to probably think about it. But when it comes to a trucking company saying that they're having cash flow challenges, one of my questions to that person would be: Is it because your insurance is too high? Is your insurance rates too high? Does that have something to do with why you can't? Like, I would start having that conversation with them just to talk to them. Because sometimes people just need you to listen. So believe it or not, a lot of times a person is not necessarily looking for you to solve their issue. They just want somebody to listen to them.
Yeah.
So when that's
a hard space for me to be in, because I'm always ready to solve. Like, all right, let's figure this out.
And most of us are, we problem solvers. Like we want to do that. And I learned that as a coach, like, because I took a course on coaching, and one of the chapters in the coaching course that I took was you can't jump in and solve everybody's issue. As a coach, your job is to show them how to solve the issue, not solve the issue for them. So a lot of times it's like, this is my problem, here's your solution. And it's like, that's what we naturally want to do. We want to come in and say, hey, I can help with that. I know how to deal with that. And it's like, sometimes if Melissa says, hey, I'm having an issue with this client, or I'm having this issue with this person on my team. And I say, well, Melissa, so what do you think you should do about it? Tell me what you think. If you didn't have me to help you with this, what would you just do? How do you think you should resolve it? Because I want to know, without my help, what would you be doing? What would you be doing? Because that might be the right answer. Right. And if you have the right answer already, you have to know that that's within you so that you have confidence in solving that problem yourself. So sometimes it's just about having a conversation. So you could have started with by not attaching that pain point to, because I know that's sales, attach the pain point to, right? Yeah. But if it's obvious you can do it, then yes. Oh, well, we do have something for that. But in that case, it could be, so Melissa, let me ask you a question, because Sharanda, that was really good what Sharanda said, right? Let me ask you a question. What kind of cash flow problems are you having? And then when that person tells you, oh yeah, I've heard some other companies having that issue, and and just now you just talking. Now you guys are just having a conversation. You're building a relationship, which is gonna make that sale easier on the back end anyway, because you listen. And I learned that also with my clients with complaints. I learned that every time my client complained about something, I didn't have to go stomp off and find a solution and come back, because by the time the conversation was over with, they really wasn't even looking for me to do anything for them. They just wanted somebody to listen, and the first 2 or 3 people they called shut them down. Right. And when you just tell them you understand, and you don't know, understand, and I understand why that would make you upset. It would make me upset as well. Is this something I can do that? Well, actually, it's over with now. I'm not really worried about it. I just really wanted to kind of vent about it, and then it's gone. They really don't want to resolve. They just want somebody to at least pay attention to the fact that somebody did something to them that made them feel a certain way. So you could have listened to him, and then after all of that conversation he had about it, say, well, I'll look and see if I have any resources that could possibly help you. If you can pinpoint some things that you know that you're having issues from, is it your insurance being too high? Is it this? Is it that? Maybe if you tell me a couple of things, I can come back with an answer. Sometimes helping that person by coming back with some conversational points that don't even involve them enrolling in Legal Shield will now allow them to get Legal Shield, because they feel like you're resourceful and that you're helpful and you mean well. And now they want to buy from you because you helped them, even though it wasn't you helping them by putting them in a plan. They're buying a plan now because you helped them. It's almost like therapy. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, actually had that happen with the other client. She was looking to build business credit, and I had enrolled in a program personally for the business with my trucking company with my brother, and some of the stuff that I've learned, I just shared that with her. And she was very happy about that. So I know that that's going to come full circle of her end up getting the plan. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So that is a good question, because that is part of, and that's how I sell anyway. I'm a relationship builder. So yeah, I'm never going in to make that sale, which answers Jim's question in the chat as well. Like, he's like, do you try to close at the end of every sale? And I know always be closing and always be selling. And I know we hear all that terminology, and it does make sense to a certain extent, but you've got to know that sometimes you got to know your people, right? You have to know who you're talking to. And I don't mean know them like I know Sharanda, like I'm friends with Sharanda, I know Sharanda. I mean, I'm talking about you have to understand personality types and know that some people you're never going to close on the first call, because they're not the kind of person that's going to buy that fast. You have to know the kind of people who don't want a lot of explanation. They just want to be closed. Some people like, shut up and just sell it to me. I don't want to have time to listen to your presentation. And some people want to hear the presentation 3 times. You got to know who you're talking to, because that'll help your closing ratio go up. And that's the art of selling. Just understanding when you're talking to people by reading their body language and things like that. You have to know how to gauge that person's behavior and figure out whether or not they want to sell. Because I've had several people where I'm doing a presentation and they're like, dude, I got a really busy day today. I've seen enough. I really do think I want it. Like, what do I need to do to enroll? And when they do that, just enroll them. Just be quiet and enroll them. And if that person is one of those people that they want to hear more, they want to hear it more because they need to be convinced in a way that they need to be triggered to buy it. You got to figure out that trigger and get that going that way. But that's going to change based on people. And you learn as you do more sales how to manage, how to gauge people's behavior and figure out how to close. You're never going to be spot on, obviously. You're not going to be a perfect salesperson, but you'll get better at that if you do that.
So that's not a closed-ended question as far as like how that's going to work on a sale. That is truly going to depend on what you're selling, who you're selling to, and what your sales experience is. Just like, to me, it's easier to close in person than it is on the phone.
Right.
In person, it's like I don't get a whole bunch of no's in person.
Yeah,
Because it's just something you want to do with a person. It's that familiarity, I guess, that trust, because you're sitting across from them versus I can be anybody over the phone.
Right.
That they're talking to. So yeah. So hopefully that was helpful.
It was. And as you were talking, and this is why this is a great platform, because sometimes you answer your own question. So I was even thinking, like, some of the cash flow could be, okay, do you have outstanding people that haven't paid you? And I could tie that into the business solution, the business part of it. But again, it's asking those questions and just really letting them talk to find out.
What did you say when he said that, Melissa?
What did I say?
She paused. She's like, oh yeah. Well, what did I say?
Because we talked about a lot, and it was just kind of in the general conversation. And because I don't think I really said much, because he quickly went into kind of why he has a cash flow, like no funding and things like that. So I just kind of just let him talk.
So this a trucking company?
Yes.
I mean, like, he ain't moving loads. What is he expecting in his business? What is his business like? Thinking he's gonna get funding. Funding is you move freight.
Right. No. I'm thinking he's wanting to expand, and so he's the cash flow on that side of it.
Sharanda, is that somebody that you need to talk to, or is it not somebody you need to talk to? It's not? Okay.
Nah, he needs to go and book some loads.
You don't need to talk to Sharanda. If he's trying to expand his fleet, I'm not gonna say it.
It's a lot of factors can go into that. But I'm just saying, like, dude, like, go book some loads.
Yeah. Most of the companies I know that's expanding their fleet, they're not finding a grant to do that. They're getting loans to get more vehicles. That's, typically, but a grant, I'm not gonna say it's not one out there. I don't know.
Collaborate with somebody that does business funding. It's people out there that does business funding for trucking. Yeah. And Melissa, maybe you can find that person in your networking group.
Yeah.
And Melissa, if that person needs somebody to finance it, I've got 2 companies that do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so just call me. Yeah, I got 2 companies that particularly do funding for trucking companies. I don't know what the requirements are for that company. I have no idea whether they're looking at a score or, his business already on the books and what is he doing now, how long. I don't know what any of the stipulations would be, but I do have 2 companies that I work with that do financing specifically for trucking companies, logistic companies. So
get good freight, and it's a lot of stuff, Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm learning that.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah.
And
say, Robert,
to step in the right direction too, as far as like help. Sometimes you have to help a person where they need help before you sell them what you're offering. And that's what I tell my lead generation audience. I'm like, when I say help a business, that don't mean give them legal shield material. I know that you're helping them because you feel like them buying that is going to help them, but helping them to me is not me giving them legal shield stuff. It's me giving them something that helps their business. And then once I've helped them and built that relationship, now I go to sell legal shield. So I think you can do a good job with helping that person in a way that they need to be helped, and then coming back on the back end with the legal shield, and then you may get some referrals from that person as well. John?
Yeah, and I didn't say anything about the small business, but I just paid attention and like, how could I put those 2 together? So I didn't say anything until I wanted to ask you guys what y'all thought.
I would ask more questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Go, John.
I was going to say,
question.
I was going to say trucking companies, sometimes they give 2 or 3% of their profit or gross sales away because they factor their business. So they're giving a lot of the money away. just to get paid early. And sometimes they have to factor that in if they're caught in a cycle like that. Also, how many people have you heard are living paycheck to paycheck? Businesses are sometimes living month to month. They don't have a lot of revenues to hold back. So you have to be careful and maybe say, can you afford to take a loss? Can you afford to have a customer not pay you on time? What would they do to your business? Okay, having an attorney, a law firm in all 48 states assist you with an issue like that, would that be beneficial? Have you ever made a financial decision based on legal needs, and not doing it because an attorney costs too much? So those are, some of the things you have to factor in with if they're having an issue. I've been in the business too myself, and I'm getting inundated with offers, in the mail I get. I can get $80,000 tomorrow if I want, but the interest rate's 40% and they want to take out a payment every day.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
they're getting these offers, and I just throw them away because, and then also when we had Go Small Biz, we had a consultant area where we can ask questions like that. I think we offer that now with our
Business Plus.
Business Plus, yeah, where they can ask consultant where they can get funding for that, and that might be beneficial too, where you can sell that supplement also to them too, and they can ask those questions to a consultant.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Appreciate that.
But a lot of times, like John talked about factoring companies, a lot of times they're not giving away a whole lot of money with factoring companies. A lot of them are not using them, thinking that factoring companies are taking a lot of their money. And like Britt said, they're trying to self-fund. They say, oh, I'm not going to do a factoring company, but how that looks is, just say they had $1,000 load and the factoring company, they get $970. The factoring company gets $30. That's not a lot of money going away, So, but a lot of them won't deal with factoring companies because they think that they're gonna have to give up a lot of money because they don't understand. So they're waiting on that 30, net 30, net 60 day, never every day, they don't get paid. So that's cash flow gets slow, right?
Yeah.
Because the money not coming in. But like he asked, so you got to ask those questions. Somebody told me they got cash, they by their cash flow. I'd be like, well, so what that mean? Let's talk about that. When you ask for funding, let's ask about these other things, like how is it set up? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is this business set up? So, John talked about factoring, ask him, like outstanding debts, like you said, to bring in more money. Let's see what the problem really is that you feel like, you need a better cash flow. Where's your money going? Right. So just don't let them talk to you and rattle off to that. Go back to the problem that they say they have so we can ask questions so you maybe can show the small business plan will help. But like John said, those consultants are out there. I think we don't utilize that plan as often as we used to, when it was Go Small Biz. I think we forget about those consultants. Because I think that was one of the things. You remember they used to have the platform and they had all the different areas that they would help with, and funding was one of them. Yeah. But see, you don't see that. No, you don't see that, that setup anymore. It's a white piece of paper. It's a white page with your name on the side. That's what the Plus plan looks like now. Yeah, it is. It's a white page and it got the different consultants, CRM. Remember Go Small Biz had, I know it was a third party, but you know what I'm saying? They had all that. So
yeah. And that also goes back to what we talked about earlier about that's the perfect scenario that Melissa had, where I'm saying you got to understand business. Because if you're going into businesses and all you know is Legal Shield, right? And then that person says like, "Hey, I'm having a cash flow issue," or "Man, I don't understand I can't find a driver," and all you know is what our plan does for companies. It's like, "Oh yeah, they're short us on drivers," and you stuck like, "Oh, okay, All right, whatever. Then you start back talking about Legal Shield. You can't even have a conversation with them because you don't even know how to talk to them about that. And sometimes when you don't, to get things back on track, ask them how it's affecting them. So if I'm talking to Sharonda's company and Sharanda says, yeah, I'm really having some cash flow problems right now, I may say to Sharanda, so let me ask you a question, like, so how your cash flow problems affect, like, how is that affecting you? How are those cash flow problems affecting you? What is that meaning for your business? Right, to make them talk more so I can get more out of them about what's going on. I really want to know how they feel about it. And if I don't know anything about business, it's going to be hard for me to, I can empathize because I don't have to understand business, empathize that you're having a bad time, but I want to be able to give you some kind of information. And that's why networking and being in the space of business, if you're going to sell business plans, helps be able to say, you know what, about your funding deal, let me go. I'm in a couple of networking groups. I'm in a chamber, I'm in BNI, I got some networking mastermind groups I'm a part of. There may be somebody that can help in there. When is a good time for me to give you a call back and see if I can find somebody to assist you with that? Sometimes you got to push Legal Shield to the side. Let me push this to the side. Let me solve, because they're not going to buy something from you when you're hurting already about something else. It's like, right, I can't make this decision right now because I'm dealing with this. And if you would help them get through that, then it's like, man, I think thanks, Melissa. I'm really glad you turned me on to that guy. He really was able to help me, and then he put me with with Sharanda. Sharanda started getting me a few different lows, and now things are good now. So explain to me again how that plan was that you came to talk to me about.
Right.
And that's how that happens when you, okay, let me stop my sale. I ran into a person that has a problem. You know what I mean? So it's like,
that's a long-term sale right there.
Me in my coaching business, it's the same way. When I'm trying to coach somebody and it's all this going on, hey, you know what? I got a good friend I need you to talk to. I'll put on a Hero Branch because I can't help you grow your business when you're going crazy.
Right.
If you in the process of going crazy, I can't do nothing. I can't coach you if you got a life issue so big that you can't get past it. You need to talk to a life coach and then come back to me later on because I can't do anything for you right now. Right. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing here. Sometimes we got to just shelf Legal Shield, help that person build a relationship, still sell the other people that we got in the pipeline, and then come back to that person after we help them and say, hey, let's revisit that Legal Shield deal.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So it's not, I don't think we haven't been stayed on this long, friend. It's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. I appreciate the 37 people who just care that much about this information that you guys are still here. We really appreciate y'all. We are about to sign out. So don't forget that Sharanda Ivy has her Thursday call, accountability call, CDLP. Just go to the Facebook page and you can find that on the Facebook page. We have our first in a long time CDLP on Friday. So that's going to be Friday, June 17th. We'll be holding the CDLP. So remember, on this one, you have to register by Thursday, 3 p.m. Central Time. By Thursday, 3 p.m. Central. So June 16th, by 3 p.m. Central Time, you have to register or you will not be able to get in. So let your associates know who cannot do Saturday events that we will be doing that Friday event here. So trainers, anything else you guys want to close out with?
Mr. Dunbar?
Yes.
Texas having a traffic blast in 2 weeks. So anybody who working in Texas, and they're talking to the company, they could always give them some information. Because somebody texted me and tell me that.
They're having a what now?
They're having a traffic blast in Texas.
I don't know what that is.
Well, let's say a traffic blast. Just text me and tell me they're having a traffic blast in Texas the next 2 weeks. So
they're probably pulling them over, Dunbar.
Oh, I never heard that term before, traffic blast.
In Texas only.
Oh, got you. Yeah, I never heard that before, traffic blast.
You remember the safety week coming up next month.
Yes, right. So y'all got anybody in Texas? That's the reason to follow up on them.
What they have in Dunbar?
A traffic blast. So let them know. Let them know. Because I don't know. I didn't know what that was. Never heard that before. Good stuff.
John, now look at it. He thinks to talk about it.
I was gonna say in July, you're saying they have that, the safety coming up in July. Is there any flat sheet on that we're spreading around or not?
Huh? Say what now? I'm sorry.
On that July,
oh, go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
no, on that July safety event, is there any flat sheet we're gonna have on our
I'll put it
Facebook
up.
page?
Yes, sir. I put it up. Yes, sir.
Okay,
I'll put it up, John. Put it up. Put it up.
thanks.
So if you guys are looking for that, give it a little bit of time. And when Sharanda gets it on the Facebook page, you'll see it right at the top of the page. When she puts it in the file section, it'll show up in the comment area. So you guys can grab that and be using that to talk to companies.
Yeah, go ahead and start talking to them now, you know. And even about what it was? Traffic blast.
Yeah, traffic blast.
I'm serious.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying I never heard of it. I never heard of a traffic blast. So that's a new.
But you know, a lot of times, after those 72-hour things, when it used to be that, when it used to be that other month, when it used to be in June, I think, they used to, like Illinois, up in those areas, they used to do a 3 to 4 day traffic stop. They continue it. So yeah.
Yeah, they be on them truckers. Yeah, we got some potential clients, guys, out here with these truckers. And there's not a whole bunch of people selling to them. So great opportunity. Great opportunity. All right, guys. So we'll see you guys next week. Some of y'all, I'm sure I'll see you on something between now and next week. Sharanda will see you guys on Thursday, but all else fails, I'll see you guys next week, Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. You guys have a fantastic rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thank you, trainers. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Great
everyone.
training.
Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone.
guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you next week.
Night.
Appreciate y'all.